The opening bell of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Connor Rogers. And today we have a very special Mock Draft Monday for you. It is part one of a two-part series that we're doing here on Monday. So part two won't be out this Thursday. It'll actually be out next Monday. But essentially, Connor and I were thinking the other day, we're like, you know what would actually be really cool? What if we did an entire projection of what would happen if the NFL had an expansion franchise? Now, it's only one, so that means that it's an odd number of NFL teams, so we're not really working through that logistic, but we're big NHL fans. They just had a recent NHL expansion draft because they had a new team, the Seattle Kraken, come in. So we said, hey, what if we went through that exercise in the NFL? And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go down every single roster in the NFL. What we're going to do is we're going to have a protected players list. We're going to protect guys from every single team. That's what we're going to do on this episode. We're also going to come up with where the new expansion team is going to be. We're going to give shout out to some cities, maybe some mascot names. We're going to figure all that out. And then eventually on the next episode, on part two, we're going to actually draft from around the NFL to form this expansion team. Connor, I feel like I've been talking way too long already for an intro on the podcast, but buddy, I'm very excited to get this one going. There's a lot involved, but this is going to be a lot of fun.
It was much needed. I mean, it's a very specific kind of series we're doing here. I have not seen somebody project a lot of this. We know there's been rumors going around for a while that, and it's not really rumors, it's kind of the obvious, that the NFL will only want to get bigger and better because there is money to be had on the table by doing that. You're 100% right. It's tricky that, you know, when they expand again, will it be two teams? That's something that you and I can't predict. But for this exercise, we're going to do it similar to the way the NHL did it with Seattle, where it's one team coming in. There's obviously protections. Each team is going to protect 4 offensive players and 4 defensive players. But before we get to that, we have to pick a place for this team to play. That is going to be the most important talking point when this becomes a reality, however many years down the road.
Yeah, that'll be kind of the fun creative part of you and I going back and forth, figuring out where this team's going to play, what they're going to be called, maybe some color schemes, some jersey ideas that we might have. And you mentioned it there, the format that we have for these teams. So the way that the NHL did it is they had every team in the NHL protect 8 skaters and a goalie, I believe is what it was. Or you could do, 7 forward, 3 defensemen and a goalie. So I think you might have been able to get a little bit of an extra number, or maybe it was 9 and 1. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was 8 skaters and 1 goalie is how a lot of teams did that. And if you kind of do the math, that's 9 total players in the team. They've got anywhere from like 45 to 48 guys that they could come up with. And you've used that same kind of number for a NFL team, 53-man roster, a game day roster is a little bit less than that. If we do 4 on offense, 4 on defense of protected players for every single team in the NHL, that keeps the ratio about the same for impact starters that you're taking away. So we kind of went off that blueprint. In all honesty, if the NFL did this, I feel like it would probably be 5 and 5 for each side.
I think so. I think they'd have more. Yeah.
Or they would probably say like, hey, pick any 12 players as you're protected. Like, doesn't matter offense, doesn't matter defense. But we wanted to split it up to have a little bit of fun with it, and honestly give our expansion team the chance to maybe get some steals here.
We didn't want to make a dog shit team. It's as simple as that. What do you want to say?
That's actually a great way to put it. We didn't want to
We're making the team. We don't want it to be like, hey, here you go. Take off the platter and it's garbage.
We've done like 3 hours of podcasting over the two-part series, and at the end of it, we just go, here's the team, and everybody goes, they suck. So we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to give ourselves the opportunity to put some teams in some tough situations, because we wanted to have those talks too, because contracts go into these things, age for the players go into these things, where the team, like what we're thinking their direction is, all of that goes into who might be protected. So we thought it would be fun on that exercise, and then of course how we are going to go about the team building strategy for the expansion team on next Monday's episode.
Yeah, so today what you're going to get is you're going to get where this team is playing. You're going to get what their color scheme will look like, and you're going to know what players were protected by every single team in the NFL. That's the bulk of today's show. The next episode, you will actually get to see what this expansion draft looks like, forming the legitimate roster. So it's going to give everybody listening a week if they want to mull over what players are out there in the pool that they think we should take in a week, which is fun.
We know you guys are crazy passionate about this podcast, which we absolutely love and are thankful for. And, we're going to be able to set the table for you guys throughout the week. Like Connor just said, if you want to come back to us before next Monday's episode and tell us what your team would look like after the protected list that we kind of established here in this episode, that would be a lot of fun too. We'll try to, now I'm just thinking about this in my head. Maybe this is something that we can do at the end of next episode. If you guys go through this exercise after we establish the protected list and form your own expansion team with the guys who are available still, if you put it in like a notes format and screenshot it and tweet it at us, we can put that screenshot up at the end of the show and kind of say like, hey, like this is what you guys picked and all that. So we can do all that if you guys want to do it. But let's start with the city. All right. Do you have like a specific city in mind? Did you have a list that you went through, some options that you mulled over? I have 5 that I kind of divided up into, I guess, a top 5, but it was really just 5 to discuss. But I wasn't sure if you had one that you absolutely loved or if there were a handful that you were thinking of.
So I narrowed it down to 3, and I really think at the moment in this exercise, only 2 are realistic. So I'll give you the one first that I love. I've been there for an NFL weekend. I just don't think we're unfortunately there yet where it's a reality in this exercise for one team, and that's London. And obviously, there's a lot of special things about London for an expansion NFL team. One, the passion of the fans over there, and it's not just the citizens of London, it's the citizens of Europe that come into London for NFL football. That's a huge question mark that the NFL needs to ask themselves when they're looking for this city, and is the market. And London is a home run as a market financially. You're going to sell out. You're going to be a destination city like we've seen Vegas become. There's so much you can do, but the logistics of it being a full-time NFL destination are just not hammered out yet. And I think it's going to take a full global expansion. I think when you cross that bridge, when you cross that pond, you need to do it in a gigantic way. Like, I think we're going to get a London team, a Germany team, maybe 2 or 3 teams in the UK, or a team in Ireland. So they have their own division where there's not as much flying as it's going to take at the moment. So I love London. I don't know if they made your top 5, Trevor. I just don't think it's possible in this very moment right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did make my top 5. In fact, they are my number 1 team. And I don't know how realistic this might be, but we can get a little crazy in the lab, and I want to tell you my proposal for how this might work, because it's a little weird.
I'm all ears.
It's a little weird, right? We're adding a 33rd team, and that puts us at an odd number. So you go like, okay, like what conference are you adding?
Who are they playing?
Right? Like who are they playing? All that. I have an idea, and I just thought of it. I haven't put a ton of time into workshopping it, but I loved it, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. But before that, are there any other cities that you want to throw out there? Because I'm just gonna let you know, I'm gonna take this London idea and I'm gonna put it up against whatever the best other probably North American idea that we have. So what are some other cities that
it's not going to take much because I wanted London the most.
Okay, so we might be in on this.
So 2 American cities that I narrowed it down to, and they edged out a couple other ones. They edged out like Oklahoma City. They edged out San Antonio, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was Austin, Texas.
Love Austin. Austin's in my top 5 as well.
Austin is really a no-brainer for the NFL. Austin has a huge population, an ever-booming population. They are in the top 10 in U.S. population. They are growing. There's a lot of financial bonuses there in terms of stability for the economy, for people moving there to work there. It's a young city. It has great food, great places to drink. You can walk around. It has Texas football that people are passionate about, but Texas hasn't been very good lately, and Texas is never going to be
You're talking about the university, like the Longhorns?
University of the Longhorns. As great as a lot of the good things Texas has done lately, they're not like Tuscaloosa, where in Tuscaloosa, people just care about Alabama football.
Right.
I think there is an appetite to hold an NFL franchise there in a big-time way. in a big time way. And you have people coming to visit their kids that go to Texas that will also go to an NFL game. So you have the external market. I think the internal market of the city can hold it. The one it's up against, and they have a tougher hill to climb in this cell, but I just love it from a unique perspective, would be Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought a little bit about Portland too.
Portland is, I think, top 30 population-wise in the U.S. I think there is an appetite for pro sports. I think the scenery would be magnificent.
Of course.
I think there's a little bit of a boom there for the food and drink industry, which is very important in my eyes for people going to a city, visiting that city, and then going to a sporting event or living in that city. So Portland's a little bit more, this is a fun place. This would be really cool to have NFL football there versus Austin, that I think you could put an NFL team, honestly, where Texas plays today, where they're building the city, and it would be a huge success.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100% there. They are in my top 5. The other U.S. city that was in my top 5 is San Diego, because I think that San Diego, old Charger fans still probably feel they're very burned for not having the team anymore. So I feel like St. Louis is another one that I thought of that a lot of people talk about as a potential for an NFL franchise to go back there. But I like the allurement of San Diego more than St. Louis, but they're both right there. The two other North American cities, Toronto and then Mexico City, are the other two that I thought of that I would throw in there, where if you're going to go past U.S. borders and it's not to London, you're talking about those couple of cities. And obviously, like, Toronto has had pro sports already established in where they are with the Blue Jays and the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
And
you're down the street from the Bills.
Yeah, and the Raptors. Right. So, I mean, like, all that is right there, too. So you got to think about that. But that was my top 5. It was Mexico City, San Diego, Toronto, Austin, and then I had London there. I actually came up with, did you come up with any mascots for each, or is there a specific mascot that you want to say no matter what team? Do you have any ideas on mascots?
No, I have color scheme.
Okay, I got mascots.
I figured we'd come up with mascot once we pick city, but if you have mascots for each, I would love to hear them.
All right, I'll say it sounds like we're honing in on London, so I'll just say the other 4. Mexico City, the Caracara is the golden eagle, which is the national bird of Mexico.
That'd be cool.
And I think, it could work great as a mascot there. If we're talking color schemes, probably like green, white, black, maybe a little red, maybe a little gold in there.
Okay.
San Diego, I have is the Rip. I don't love this one as much, but think of it like surfing, like on the water, the rip tide, the rip current, all that. So I have like the San Diego Rip. So I thought that was kind of unique there. Toronto Avalanche, just because I love the mascot, the Avalanche, and I wanted to get it in there.
You could get away with it.
Couldn't really think of anything else. And then Austin, I just have the Mavericks, because I think that's kind of a cool. I know there's like the Dallas Mavs, which
that's the issue, because they're in the state of Texas. It might be,
or yeah, you're right. Probably that wouldn't work. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I do love the name the Mavericks, because it's also like, I think it's a young calf, right? Is also known as a Maverick. So it makes total sense with it. But you can't take Texas and it's right there. It's just too easy. It's a cool mascot. It was too easy. It's right there.
But I think you whatever you name the team can be separate, like Gritty. Like, Gritty has nothing to do with the Flyers, really.
You're right.
Like, Gritty's just so entertaining.
You're right.
That, like, honestly, like, just, have you ever seen Mr. Red? I know we've had
is this like the Cincinnati Reds? Dude?
Yeah, have you seen Mr. Red?
He's just a giant baseball, right?
No, he's more than that. He is the most terrifying mascot. He's like if Mr. Met went on like a really bad bender and his life just fell apart. Mr. Red,
Cincinnati.
He's
Reds.
Scary. Dude, look at his eyes.
Images. Oh, this is the one with the giant mustache.
Yes, but the eyes. Mr. Red is. We have a track record a little bit of pissing off Cincinnati on this pod, so I want to tread lightly here with the Skyline Chili incident. But I'm thinking we go really weird with the mascot. Whatever we name the team, we combine like Gritty and Mr. Red and just make like a total freak.
It's like a total nightmare of a mascot. Like, don't bring your effing kids to the game.
Yeah.
Don't
Stay
bring
away
your
from
kids.
This guy.
Every other franchise in the world's like very family friendly.
Yep.
Kids running the bases, all that. We're like, keep your kids away. 21 and up. That's all we want in our stands.
I think London would embrace it.
Bring people that'll buy beer. That's it. That's all we care about.
Obviously, what this is going, so I want to hear unless you really are diehard about one of the North American cities, I would like to hear the London proposal, because The city to me that I find the most interesting for a new NFL team, but I just don't have the answers of how it works without other European expansion.
Okay. Part of this plan might piss people off, but it's also kind of intriguing. And I was trying to think of ways.
Podcast doesn't?
That's true. That's true. I'm trying to piss people off. Okay. I think we both agree that the NFL is eventually going to expand into Europe. We think that that's going to be the case. We think that it would probably take multiple teams for that to be the case, but we're only adding one here. I think London is the right location to make that happen. I think Munich in Germany, there's a huge football following in Germany. So I thought about that, but London still makes the most sense. They've got the infrastructure. It's the easiest flight over there. I just think that they're clearly already laying the foundation of a fan base to go to London. So you've got one team, right, overseas. Here's how it could work. You treat the London team like it's Notre Dame in college football.
Okay.
It's an independent. So every year we've got 17 games, right? 17 game season, 18-week schedule. So you've got the bye week. Every year, they are playing 2 AFC conferences, 2 NFC conferences, all right? So they're playing against those teams, and then it flips the next year. What happens is we got to work out in the schedule to where the London team is playing 4 games at home, 4 games on the road. That's what they're doing. Now, It doesn't necessarily have to be all of the division teams at once. But there are 4 games where the London team is playing at home. They're just playing in London for 4 weeks straight, and then they're over in America for 4 weeks straight. So they're on and off. So I feel like that's the easiest way to keep it even, to keep it as a block, and to make it easier on the London team specifically. Because, of course, like...
They need a hub, Trevor.
What do you mean?
Oh, they need a practice facility in the U.S.
They would for sure.
Yep.
But
which is great, fine, attainable.
That's what they would like for the Eagles. The Eagles would be going to London. Yeah, it's annoying because they'd have to go from Philadelphia to London, or even worse, like San Francisco. The Niners, they'd have to go from San Francisco all the way to London. But you can recover from that. Like that's just a couple of weeks where, all right, that's kind of a drag for you. The London team, you can't have them popping over to the U.S. like every other week.
No, that's not.
It's got to be a block. So we're going 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, and then you kind of like have some random team, however you need to make it work for the 17th game to make that happen. Here's how the playoffs work for this team. Again, you're treating it as if it's Notre Dame and independent in college football. The London team, whatever record they finish with, if it ties a team that is in the wild card of either division, the lowest record, it kicks them out. They are bumped out of the playoffs. So let's say the AFC is super strong and the lowest seeded team, the lowest seeded wild card is, what is it now? It's 10-7, right? So 11-6, 10, right? So the lowest seed is 10-7.
I get where you're going.
And in the NFC, the lowest seed is 9-8. If the London team finishes 10-7, they take that wild card spot from the NFC team and they take them away. And then they are in the wild card for the NFC, or you could flip it or whatever. So it's basically if they have an even or better record with any of the teams. And of course, like you'd have to come up with tiebreakers. Like if there's multiple teams in each division that have the same record, like you'd have to come up with different tiebreakers. But essentially, that's the way it would work. You would give them somewhat of an advantage where they would own the first tiebreaker over a one team if they had the same record on the lowest record of either conference. And so they could get into either the AFC playoffs or the NFC playoffs, whichever one it kind of worked out for them to take the lowest seeded team out of the playoffs.
I love it. And I think that the caveat is, in a good way, this is just a temporary solution to what's going to be figured out in the long term on its own by getting more teams in Europe or finding a way to really realign the divisions. Because let's not forget, like, flying from London to New York is shorter than like when the Jets or Giants have to go to Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, we're acting like they're going to the moon. That's not the case here. It's a lot of travel, and your solution is needed. Like, they need to have a practice hub based somewhere in North America that is central to the teams they are going to play every year. But the playoff thing is a really good Band-Aid to me on like a paper cut. Like I think we can sell this right now. I think we're going to London.
All right. So we're making it happen. All right. So our franchise is going to be in London. All right. We're going to adopt the playoff format. We're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it interesting. I am sure 100% that the first comment on the YouTube channel is going to be somebody somehow poking a hole in all of this. And
that's fine.
For right now, I'm going to live in blissful ignorance and think that this is a good strategy, that they are the Notre Dame of the NFL, if you will, and kind of spice things up in that way. So for the mascots, did you have a mascot idea? Because I had 2 for London.
Yeah, I want a giant pint with legs running around.
This is not a mascot.
They're not going to be like, that's not what we're going to call the team. That's just what I want the mascot in the stadium running around to be. They're not going to be the London Pints.
Okay.
No. Listen, we can do something way better than that.
Look, if you want to go with that, we can.
Of like a logo and a team. No, we're not going to name it. I feel like it's just too low-hanging fruit. As much as I do love the idea of that's what the mascot in the stadium is absolutely going to be.
So I think the 3 that really stood out to me are, and I did some research for this, so shout out to the people on Reddit.com who came up with certainly the Redcoats is one that a lot of people have liked over the years. If there was a team in London, the Redcoats make sense. But I feel like, I don't know. A
lot of bad internet jokes on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just too easy. So
like they go to play the Patriots and like the responses are just like so crappy to the team accounts. Like there's just a lot.
So I don't love the Redcoats one.
Okay.
The Knights one makes sense, right?
I mean, like that.
That could make sense. I also thought about just calling them the Dynasty. The London Dynasty, right? I mean, like you've got cool. Like royal family lines, you've got history.
So we're thinking crown maybe in this logo somewhere?
Right, like the crown could be part of the logo, right?
I like that.
There's not like a crown logo right now in the NFL, is there?
No, I mean, all you have had is obviously the Kings in the NHL have experimented with that.
The Sacramento Kings, but that's in the NBA.
Yep. No, the NFL's fine. The NFL loves animals. Like, they're all about animals.
I kind of like the London Dynasty.
Me too. I'm with it, and I really think we can get creative with the crown.
Yes, I'm with you.
Maybe a sword through the crown, something like that.
Something like that. And your mascot can still be a pint. We just got we just got to put a crown on it.
Yes. Yeah, he wears an oversized crown. He's a pint glass with little legs, little stick legs that stick out. And maybe even the crown has like a little bowl divot, and you could like beer is in there, and he runs around, shakes his head around, and beer falls all over opposing fans.
This is actually great. That's a good
the NFL is going to listen to this and steal our idea. I'm ready for that.
So for colors, I was thinking black and white are obviously like staple. You got to have like black and white in there. But I was thinking like red and gold.
It's funny you said that because the one color that I was kind of excited about more than others because of its lack of usage is like Montana's maroon, because I don't want to copy the Commanders.
All right, hold on. Let me look
Montana's a very dark maroon. The Commanders are a little lighter. So I think that doesn't have to be the base color, but you get that really dark maroon in there, right?
Interesting.
It's a lot darker. It's a lot different than the Commanders. It is a lot darker.
You know what? I could be convinced on the shade of red, but I agree. You don't want it. You can't look too much like the Commanders. And I think the Commanders, I guess the new jerseys, they've got like a decent amount of black and white in there, because like the old Commanders uniforms, I feel like it was just their shade of red and their shade of yellow. Like that's just what it was. I don't know the exact terms. Please, Commanders fans, don't kill me. I don't know the exact terms for the colors. But like I feel like it was just a lot of the primary colors in there, and it wasn't of the secondary colors. I feel like we could get real creative with this one, with like black being a primary color on like one of the jerseys, and like you've got like black and gold as a main, or things like that. I think we could work with this. People out there, you guys can convince me, us, I guess, on the different shades of colors. If we've got any graphics design people who want to take a stab at this for fun, would be awesome. We're certainly not telling you to do anything for it. Don't get fired for your job doing this instead of doing what you need to do. But
go ahead and do what you got to do.
I know for a fact there are people out there listening to this podcast who are a lot more creative about bringing things up here in the mind to life on the screen that we could actually see. So I'm thinking some sort of black, some sort of white, some sort of red, some sort of gold. You agree?
Yeah, I'm with that. I would even say maybe we can think a little bit more chrome for the black, so we don't just use the traditional. There's something we can get creative here with maybe the helmet or maybe the pants. There's something here. I knew color would be the hardest because there's so many NFL teams already that the color wheel we were working with is very limited, that the design with the colors is more important than the colors themselves to differentiate it from whoever we came the closest to.
Do you remember Ohio State's gray jerseys?
Yes.
The gray ones, like when JT Barrett and Curtis Samuel and them were still there. That's basically like what I'm thinking of as like a potential main, or the black, or Ohio State's black ones, just like the straight black ones with the red and the white. Both of those. I
like almost all of their color combos.
It is
all their
sick.
jerseys. Like they don't miss.
I'm
looking at all
really
picks of JT Barrett right now. They never missed.
No,
they never missed on a uni. Okay. So we feel pretty good about that right now, right? We have a good baseline for this franchise.
Yep. The London Dynasty. That's the playoff format, and we're about to try to set the table for the rest of the NFL to protect their players so the Dynasty can't come in right away and steal a playoff spot from either the NFC or the AFC. Where do you want to start with protected teams as we go through this here? And if you want to remind everybody exactly of the rules of
okay, so the rules here are that every team has 8 total protections, but they have to use 4 on offense and 4 on defense specifically. They are, now you don't have to worry about specialists in this. I'm just going to be honest right out of the gate.
I didn't pick a keeper or for like a kicker or
I didn't protect any specialists. So it was a very even split, but there's nothing special in here. Like there's no rule that you have to protect a quarterback. It's just 4 offensive players and 4 defensive players. Trevor, just the way I wrote my list, if this is easier enough for you, I did start with the AFC East, of course, and I just went right down the board, all AFC and then all NFC.
Great. No, that works for me. We can start right there. We can start with the AFC East. And for you guys out there listening and watching, Connor and I went through every team in the NFL individually.
Yes.
And I have 4 on offense. I have 4 on defense for every team that I've already picked. Connor has his 4. We're going to kind of go through the teams and collaborate a little. We figure most of the list is going to be similar, but then for some teams, there might be 1 or 2 guys where we might be a little bit different to have a little bit of a discussion kind of as we go through this thing. So I'll let you start. You can pick the team and you can talk about which 4 guys you kept.
Okay, so the Dolphins first year, I kept. This is an interesting one to start with. I'll say that because they are on like a lot of other teams. I kept Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Teron Armstead, and Mike Gesicki. I did not keep a quarterback for the Dolphins, which is pretty rare territory.
Okay.
And then on defense, I kept Jalen Phillips, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland. The last one was a little tricky, but I did ultimately keep Jerome Baker.
Okay, so we have 1 different offensive player. We have 1 different defensive player. I kept Christian Wilkins instead of Jerome Baker because Christian Wilkins has been really nice lately.
It was pretty flexible for me. I thought they had a couple players in that 4th spot. Brandon Jones was another guy. Like they had a couple guys that were really up and eligible for this one. And Wilkins is a former first rounder, so those are the guys you lean to picking. They did pay Baker, but it's not outrageous.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty open-ended on that one, but the offensive ones, who is your other offensive one?
It was Tua.
You did keep Tua. I get it.
I think it has to be Tua. I don't know how like we've got to keep Mike Gesicki in here because I agree with you with Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Teron Armstead, but for what Tua can still be for you and the fact that he is on a rookie contract with years remaining, that matters more to me than anything else. Like all of the Tua hasn't been great up to this point stuff, which I do agree with. He has been disappointing to this point, regardless of whether the offensive line or the offensive weapons haven't exactly been ideal. I still think that Tua has been a little bit disappointing. I think that's a very fair assessment. Even with that being the case, even with me believing in that, Tua being a potential franchise quarterback on a rookie contract is the most valuable thing in sports. So I think we've got to still have him in here. I think he has to make the list, even if it's been a little bit disappointing to this point.
It kind of comes down to this. You can protect Tua instead of Gesicki, and then you have to envision Tua in this offense without Gesicki, but everything else is the same. Or you can risk losing Tua, and then you have Teddy Bridgewater stepping into the offense with Gesicki. I don't really think either option is like overly exciting.
The problem is that like if you lose Tua and you have Teddy Bridgewater, like Teddy Bridgewater could be fine for you next year, but then you have to draft the quarterback next year no matter what, right?
Yes.
And if Tua hits, then you don't.
You don't. Yeah, but if you don't protect Gesicki here, like you there, let's be honest, he's gone.
But you are protecting Tyreek and Jalen already.
You are, who are great.
So I think that goes into it. I think we've got to keep Tua.
Okay.
I think we've got to keep Tua.
I like Gesicki for the expansion team. I'll say it right now.
Okay.
Well, all right, so let's keep. So we're gonna keep Tua over Gesicki.
Yep.
You guys, just one more reminder. So Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Teron Armstead, and Tua were kept on offense. On defense, Jalen Phillips, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, and Christian Wilkins.
Yep.
Were kept on defense. Okay, Trev, let's keep this moving because it's going to take a while. The Jets, I kept Elijah Moore. No surprise there.
Okay.
Elijah Vera Tucker, Zach Wilson. So their first 3 picks from the 2021 draft I kept. And then Garrett Wilson. And then I kept Sauce Gardner, top 5 pick from this year. Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson, first-round pick from this year. And Carl Lawson. The last one I thought was very debatable, but I did end up keeping Carl Lawson.
The only one that I disagree with here is I have George Fant instead of Elijah Moore.
That's an interesting one.
Because Elijah Moore is good, but I have Garrett Wilson in here because I think Garrett Wilson's going to be better. And would I rather keep an offensive lineman or a wide receiver? Like, I think Elijah Moore is going to be really good, but like, is he going to be a superstar? You tell me, though. I was going to lean on you for this one. I figured we might be a little bit different. I wondered if we were going to have the same defense. We actually did.
Interesting.
So you tell me, like, is it actually a debate between George Fant or were you always keeping Elijah Moore no matter what?
It's tricky. I just went with the player that's younger with the bigger ceiling. And it hurts the Jets if they lost Fant in this situation because you have the bad injury luck with Becton and questions there, and then not a lot behind him besides Max Mitchell. But I would keep Elijah Moore because I think what can make this offense potentially good one day is that they do have a really diverse wide receiver group with Moore and Wilson. So I would keep the younger player and try to replace Fant in next year's draft or free agency rather than going back to the wide receiver well for the millionth time again. I would just have some stability there.
All right, that's fine with me. That's fine with me.
The defense, you were the same. I don't think that's a surprise.
Yeah, we were the same. I had Quinnen, I had Carl Lawson, I had Jermaine Johnson, I had Sauce Gardner. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the Patriots, I kept Mac Jones, no duh. Mike Onwenu, and Cole Strange. I kept both of them to give some stability on the offensive line, and then Hunter Henry at tight end I kept. Defense, I kept Matt Judon, Christian Barmore, Kyle Duggar, and Devin McCourty was the most questionable keeper for me on this list because of his age. I know, but I just wanted to keep the stability of him on the back end.
So you had Barmore, you had Judon, you had Duggar.
And McCourty.
And McCourty. We are different on one player on each side. Instead of Hunter Henry, I kept Isaiah Wynn because
it was tough.
If Isaiah Wynn is healthy, he's
great.
Absolutely more valuable than Hunter Henry. So I have him in there instead. And then I have Josh Uche instead of McCourty because it was really difficult to find a fourth defensive player for the Patriots. I'm like, I don't know who they would prioritize. Like McCourty's been there forever. Clearly, what you said is correct. Like he gives them stability, but I went with the younger player in Josh Uche, the pass rush specialist, because I don't know how much McCourty has left in the tank anyways. You don't know.
Does McCourty not feel like the biggest captain of the expansion team of all time? Like
if we get him in there,
he feels like the guy that goes to an expansion team, is the captain for 1 year, and then he retires. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm obviously okay keeping the younger player in Uche. What I would counter with, if this team doesn't have Hunter Henry, I don't know who the hell Mac Jones is throwing the football to.
No, it's
that's my biggest question.
Extremely fair, and that's kind of the hole that they've put themselves in.
Totally. I know people that are Patriots fans. I get it. Like you like Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers. I get you like those guys, but man, Hunter Henry almost had 10 touchdowns last year.
Yeah,
that's stability for a young quarterback.
Isaiah Wynn played in 15 games last year.
But are we keeping 3 offensive linemen?
I mean, if they're the only good ones.
Yeah, I know. This was hard. They were a hard team. They were one of the hardest teams for me.
I'll let you decide here because I got Uche on the defensive side, and I think that's probably what they would go with because McCourty is
man. This is really hard. This is really, really hard.
McCourty's 34, dude.
Yeah, I would swap those.
Yeah, we got to get Uche.
Like I said, he was a very questionable one for me.
What was Hunter Henry's PFF grade last year? Hunter Henry, let's see. He's 27. Okay, so he's got some. I wasn't bad. His 75.9 receiving grade.
I would keep Hunter Henry. I just can't. I just value him so much for Mac. I know you could tackle matters too for Mac, but okay. So we end up keeping Mac Jones on Onwenu, Cole Strange, Hunter Henry, Matt Judon, Christian Barmore, Kyle Duggar, and Josh Uche. Yep. All right, to round out this division, the Buffalo Bills. This one was not very hard in the offense. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Deion Dawkins coming off a great year.
Yep.
This is actually a tough one, but I went Dawson Knox. And then defense, I went Von Miller, Trey White, Micah Hyde, and Kaiir Elam. I had an awful time picking the 4th defensive player.
Hold on. Give me these 4 again.
Von Miller, Trey White, Micah Hyde, and Kaiir Elam.
Okay, we have one guy similar.
Holy, what? Okay. Let me guess. For the Bills, did you keep Edmonds?
No.
You didn't?
No. I went Young.
Did you keep Ed Oliver?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I kept Rousseau.
Wow.
And then I kept Matt Milano because I think he's really damn good.
Milano's really good. I just think
good.
I think if you lost him, you hope that Terrell Bernard can fill that role. The only reason
why I didn't pick the safeties, and this is going to sound like Buffalo Bills safety like erasure right here, but it's just because they're above 30. I don't know how much longer they're going to play.
They're so freaking good.
No, I know they're awesome. Micah Hyde. If I was going to pick one, I was going to pick Micah Hyde.
Yeah. And then I wasn't going to not protect the guy at the corner they just took in the first round that they moved to get.
That's a good point too. But they spent so many resources on the defensive line. What, are they just going to not protect any of them?
Trevor, they have to lose someone. They're so good. This is what happens to the good teams when expansions happen. You're a Lightning fan. You just had this happen to you.
Oh, all right.
With the Kraken.
Okay. I will say I want Trey White and Matt Milano kept.
Okay.
You can pick the other two. You pick the other two. I don't care.
You can't not protect Von Miller. They think he's the guy that gets them over the top.
All right. Okay. We're protecting.
Then you get the other one. We got to make it even.
Are you?
Brutal spot. I would not keep their D line.
I'm going Kaiir Elam because you're right. Okay. I don't think you've got to think about what the expansion team would take, and I don't. It is less of a risk that they would take either of the safeties, and you could get to keep both of them than Kaiir Elam being.
Okay, so Von Miller, Trey White, Kaiir Elam, and Matt Milano are kept for the Bills.
Yep.
Offense, were you okay with Josh Allen and Diggs? Duh.
Yeah, of course.
You got to keep Deion Dawkins, right? He means their franchise left tackle.
Yep.
The Dawson Knox Gabe Davis thing was a little tough.
I had Gabe Davis as the other one.
I just thought he's more replaceable than Dawson Knox because of the position he plays.
That's fair.
I don't think Dawson Knox is a better player. I think that it's value. Look at it like this, Trevor. So say the expansion team takes Gabe Davis, then it's going to be a combination of Jamison Crowder or Khalil Shakur coming into that spot. If they take Dawson Knox, it's your boy O.J. Howard.
My boy O.J. Howard. Dawson Knox got 71 targets last year. Gabe Davis got 63, but Cole Beasley's not there. Emmanuel Sanders isn't there. Dawson Knox had 9 touchdowns. Gabe Davis had 6. All right, we can keep Dawson Knox. All right, that's fine.
All right, moving on. That was the AFC East. We are now on the AFC North. Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Mark Andrews.
Yep.
No brainers. Tyler Linderbaum.
Ooh.
And Ronnie Stanley. That one was a little tough because he's been hurt, but he's so good and important when he's healthy. Marlon Humphrey.
Wait, who did I have as a fourth?
Yeah,
I had Dobbins. Just because I love Dobbins, but
he's
he's coming off injury. I mean, you could keep Tyler Linderbaum. That's fine.
It's the problem is they just took him in the first round. Okay, so defense was Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, Odafe Owe, and Kyle Hamilton.
I had the exact same 4.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Bengals. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Jonah Williams. I struggled with the fourth player.
I picked Joe Mixon, but it was between Joe Mixon and Jonah Williams.
Jesse Bates, Trey Hendrickson, Dax Hill, Logan Wilson.
Okay, so...
There's a guy, though, I think you're going to say that I could be easily persuaded to flip.
Okay, who do you think that I'm going to say?
One of the defensive linemen.
Okay, I have DJ Reader in here.
Yeah, I figured to be one of the big boys.
The only reason why I don't have the obvious Jesse Bates is because right now, like, Jesse Bates does not, like, he's just... he doesn't want to sign the franchise tag with the Bengals, and the Bengals aren't giving him a lot of money. So, like...
You think this is common ground?
I don't know. Like, are the Bengals in a spot where they're like, okay, walk? Like, we're not gonna if another team wants to take you and sign you and give you that money, fine. I don't know where the Bengals are at this point because Jesse Bates is the obvious choice to have on this defense. He's the number one choice, honestly. But I
think you got to get something back for him if you.
So you're just saying you can't lose him for nothing.
That's my thought. I agree that things are not good there, very obviously from reading from afar. But I just think that you're looking at it as an asset.
I'm okay with it. I mean, like, they certainly should. They certainly should. So it's Jesse Bates, Trey Hendrickson. I have DJ Reader in there. I think Reader's really good.
I think he is too. Would you replace Logan? You would swap Logan Wilson out with Reader?
I have.
Because you can't lose your first-round pick in Dax Hill.
I'm picking Dax Hill over Logan Wilson every day of the week.
All right, so we kept Bates, Hendrickson, Reader, Dax Hill, Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Jonah Williams over Mixon?
Yep.
All right, Steelers.
Yeah, you have to, right? You have to.
Yeah, we saw what happens when they have a hole on the O-line.
Yeah, I know. The Penei Sewell Jamar Chase meme, I know.
Steelers. Kenny Pickett.
You're right. I mean, you're right.
Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Najee Harris. I didn't keep a lot of running backs. Had to keep Najee.
Dude, the franchise would pick Najee above literally anyone else.
But
I did have the exact same four.
TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith as my fourth one.
We have the exact same four.
You love to see it. The Browns.
I mean, Alex Highsmith, he has to be, because when you look at the rest of the defense, there's talented guys there, but Highsmith, kind of like we've talked about before on this podcast,
is ascending.
The potential is too good right there. He's an edge rusher. You got to pick him. Cam Hayward, I thought about for like 0.5 seconds, and then it went, no, it's Cam Hayward.
It's Cam Hayward. Yeah. You don't not protect him. Browns, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Jedrick Wills. I would be surprised if you went different here.
I did go different.
Oh, what do you got?
I have one different name than you. Do you know who it is? Do you know who I'm not going to have?
Oh, you kept one of the interior offensive linemen.
It's not Deshaun. Deshaun, look, for whatever we want to say on this podcast about Deshaun Watson's situation, they just gave the man $230 million guaranteed. He has to be on this list.
They're protecting him.
Right.
So you didn't keep Chubb?
No, I did.
Did you keep Cooper?
No.
Wow.
No.
One of the interior offensive linemen you kept over him?
The best interior offensive lineman, yes.
That's fair. I get it.
Not the best in the NFL, but like one of, for sure.
Okay. I mean, they got a great interior offensive line between Bitonio and Wyatt Teller.
It's Joe Bitonio.
Yeah.
Because Joe Bitonio also has the versatility to play tackle.
I would keep Bitonio over Chubb. And just if Chubb gets swiped, then you start Kareem Hunt.
So who's your four?
Jedrick Wills.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
You'd keep Amari Cooper over Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely not.
You love running backs. You work for Pro Football Focus.
Dude, I don't. What do you mean hold on. I easily got off the J.K. Dobbins one after you were like Tyler Linderbaum. I was like, yeah, that makes sense that you're drafting in the first round. J.K. Dobbins is coming off the Achilles tear. But I love J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to be really good.
Dude, if Cooper gets swiped, look at who their wide receivers are.
Brother, Nick Chubb's the best rusher in the NFL.
Yeah, but Kareem Hunt is effective behind him. And Dearness Johnson was.
Yeah, but are you going to invest? Ow.
Bro, you cannot have David Bell and Donovan Peoples-Jones.
David Bell was fed the football at Purdue and was
not
a
number
back
one
in high school. He can replace Amari Cooper.
How are we not protecting Amari Cooper?
What's Cooper's contract?
Well, he had to get the new one because they did trade him. He makes $20 million a year. And it's super, like, it's one of the low-key,
all right, he's still 28.
flexible contracts. He's good.
All right.
Amari Cooper's great.
All right.
The war on running backs continues.
How old is Kareem Hunt? He's 26. All right, fine.
All right, so Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and Greg Newsome.
Let it be known that I tried to defend Nick Chubb's honor on this podcast. Let it be known.
Trevor, we are building the expansion team. We want good players on the expansion team.
I know, and guess who my first pick is going to be? Because it doesn't matter what order I pick them. It's going to be Nick and Chubb.
Yeah, it's great.
That's who it's going to be.
He's going to be on every poster in the city of London with pints.
Hey,
dude,
real ground and pound football club they got over there in London.
Yes, in the rainy weather.
Fine.
All right.
Fine.
Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah,
Myles
Greg
Garrett.
Newsome.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I have Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
You love to see it. Okay. All right.
Wait,
Texans.
hold on. Can you give me 1 second? All right.
Yeah, breathe.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Oh, sorry. Trevor is filling in our actual sheet.
Yeah, because
I'm just reading off my own personal notes.
Right. All right. Denzel Ward. And then Greg Newsome. I think those are right picks.
So the next team is one of the only teams that I only picked 3 defensive players to protect, which is so disrespectful. So you have house money on this. Okay. The Texans.
Okay.
Brandon Cooks and Davis Mills. Kenyon Green and Laramie Tunsil were the offensive players I kept for them.
Same.
Cool. Derek Stingley.
Okay.
Jalen Petrie.
Okay.
Steven Nelson. Nice little value signing for the Texans.
Fine. Okay.
I didn't have a 4th player on their defense that I wanted to keep. I was going to leave it.
Dude, John Grenard. John Grenard played well.
Was he okay?
Yes.
Well enough to keep.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll throw my hands up on that one.
Yeah, I think Grenard had like 8 sacks. Let me look. John Grenard stats. Also Gator great. So I mean, like,
I knew that. Yeah, there's some Gator influence there. It's okay.
We cannot forget. God, will you just give me the stats page?
That's why we call it Gatorade.
He got 8 sacks in 12 games, my guy.
All right, keep him. Got to keep someone.
What was the pass rush grade? Now I got to know that. This is a no-brainer for me that we were keeping him. Brother, 89.2 pass rush grade.
Great.
This guy's next Reggie White. You almost left him off the list.
I almost didn't keep Khalil Mack.
That's unbelievable. Just inexcusable.
Colts.
You just can't. That's like keeping a running back in this
Colts,
exercise.
Yeah.
Wait,
speaking of,
who's the third?
Jalen Petrie.
We had Stingley, Petrie, Grenard,
Steven Nelson.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Colts. Jonathan Taylor.
Wait. Laramie Tunsil. You're going too fast for me here. I'm not a typist.
I mean, we're still in the AFC.
I know where we're at. Connor. Wait, who's the Davis Mills, Laramie Tunsil, Brandon Cooks? Who else? Oh, Kenyon Green. All right. You may proceed.
Okay. We are on the Colts. Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Matt Ryan.
Yep.
Quentin Nelson.
Yep.
Michael Pittman. That is a beautiful 4.
It's a very easy.
Beautiful.
I literally just wrote Quentin. I didn't even write Quentin Nelson. I just wrote Quentin. Hope that's cool.
Let it ride. Q. Big Q from Jersey.
I could have just wrote the letter Q. We would have been great with it.
Defense is brutal. And I mean that you're going to lose a good player from this group.
You are.
DeForest Buckner ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
Darius Leonard isn't going anywhere.
Yep.
You got to keep Julian Blackmon, right?
Who's my 4th?
Well, that's only 3.
No,
but
I know.
I also don't want to lose Kwity Paye or Kenny Moore.
Dude, don't they have Stephon Gilmore?
Yes. Dude, I'm telling you, this group is going to lose a couple good players.
I don't think I can lose Stephon Gilmore.
He's such a 1-year Band-Aid to me that I didn't want to lose the stall.
31.
And always hurt now. Did he sign a more than a 1-year deal?
He only played in...
Because mind you, for everyone listening, we are being cap compliant in this. So some protections that we're going to get to, or lack thereof protections, are hoping to get rid of a contract as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so he signed a 2-year deal with the Colts. $23 million deal, 14 was guaranteed. So probably not a ton of guarantees in year 2.
Then it's probably Julian Blackmon. As much as I love Kenny Moore.
Okay,
I think it's Julian Blackmon.
Defoe, Darius Leonard, Julian Blackmon. Are you keeping Kwity Paye or no?
Yes. Yeah,
right, you have to.
Yeah, you have to keep Kwity Paye. His potential's too high.
Okay, so you got those. Defoe, Kwity Paye, Darius Leonard, Julian Blackmon. Brutal for the Colts to not be able to protect Kenny Moore or Stephon Gilmore.
We're gonna have our eyes on the Indianapolis Colts for our expansion draft. Wait, are we doing the thing where? No, I was thinking like, can we only take one from each team? Right, because that's how it works in hockey.
No, because you would need more players.
Yeah, we need more players than that.
I think you can take one from each unit, right?
You probably have to. Yeah, well, then you'd have more, right? Because 32 times 2, 64, right? So you don't need 64 players. I think the way that it should go is we're allowed to take up to 2 players from any team, but we have to take at least one from every team, right? So like some teams, because we'll have 32 players, and then like we've got to fill out a little bit more. We've got to get whatever it is. Like
they also get
17
the
players.
First overall pick in the 2023 draft.
This is true. All right, we'll figure out those logistics for the next episode.
Yeah,
but I do think that that's the way that we've got to do it. Is we will have to pick one player from every team, but then you can pick at least one other player from. You could double up on a couple of teams, but you can't pick more than 2. Like you can't just ravage a franchise. I
agree.
So
I think there's got to be a limit.
One from every team, but then on some teams you're going to be able to steal 2 from them just because we're trying to make a good football team.
That's the goal here. A competitive team.
All right, let's go. Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Brandon Scherf.
Yep.
Travis Etienne.
I have him on there as well. Yep.
Christian Kirk.
I have Cam Robinson because I mean
I'm pretty flexible with the Kirk pick considering the money.
Cam's not the best offensive lineman in the world, but I'd rather have an offensive lineman than Christian Kirk, to be honest with you.
Fine with me.
All right, so we'll go Cam Robinson.
Easy sell. Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, easy.
Devin Lloyd.
I also have Devin Lloyd.
Here's the tricky one. The fourth one, you can get creative. I went with Foley Fatukasi.
I went with Shaq Griffin because if we're already if we're keeping one linebacker, I'm not keeping 2 linebackers.
Well, so it's tricky, right? Like how they play Trayvon, because Foley is one of the best run-stopping nose tackles in the league. But like, what is the value of that to them?
Wait,
in a division that plays
am I thinking of the wrong?
You were thinking of Olakon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It is a little tricky. Foley's a good player, but
yeah, but so Shaq's good.
Shaq's good. I know.
Wow.
And you don't want to just have like a patchwork back end.
Who do you think gets taken first? Shaq or
I think Foley. Because you're an expansion team, right? So you're gonna stink. Like when you have a chance to get a player that is maybe the best at what he does in the NFL, and I know it's not extremely valuable, being a run-stuffing nose tackle is like you kind of shrug. You still go get that player because you're not going to have that opportunity at a lot of position groups.
All right, it's fine. All right, you convinced me.
They took Tyson Campbell really early, not that long ago.
Right,
tough group.
Yeah,
I'm not keeping him, but
yeah,
you get the point. Okay, the Titans. Ryan Tannehill, King Henry, Treylon Burks, Taylor Lewan.
I have the same 4. I struggled with Ryan Tannehill because his contract's coming up and he's getting up there in age. So, like, what are you going to do? But the Titans wouldn't not keep Ryan Tannehill. I can't. For as much as I want to madden the crap out of this and be like, just get rid of the old guy and just on the Malik Willis. They'd never do that. So I think it has to be those 4.
Okay. Robert Woods out there. Nice guy to be able to grab. All right. Harold Landry.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Byard.
Yep.
Big Jeff Simmons.
Indeed.
Amani Hooker.
Yeah, those are my 4.
All right. We each went 4-4 on Titans. Okay. Broncos. Russell Wilson. Cortland Sutton. Javonte Williams and Jerry Jeudy.
I have Garrett Bowles instead of Jerry Jeudy.
Pretty tough call, and I am very flexible on that.
I love Jerry Jeudy.
But to them right now, Bowles is more valuable.
Look, I absolutely think that Jerry Jeudy gets stolen if you don't protect him.
So does Garrett Bowles.
He's too talented, but Garrett Bowles probably does as well. You already don't have the greatest offensive line. He's the best one that you have to boast. You probably have to keep him. Because without Garrett Bowles, Denver's offensive line is suspect at best. It's suspect at best. I almost said that it's back to the days of the Seattle Seahawks, but Seattle had some pretty bad offensive lines. So I don't want to totally say that, but I think you've got to protect Garrett Bowles. So I would say Garrett Bowles. I'm
okay. You know me. I'll always go O-line when we need to do it.
Okay. I know he's got the big contract, but like you paid him for a reason. He's the best O lineman on your team.
The next four I loved. Like I was like happy to keep these guys.
Okay.
Surtain, of course.
Easy.
Randy Gregory.
Yep. On there.
Justin Simmons.
Has to.
And Bradley Chubb.
Easy. Yep.
I really like those four. I was like, I feel good about keeping those four.
I don't think there was another one that I really thought about for a defense that I like Denver's defense, but
because they're so good as a unit.
Yeah, those were an easy four that stood out to me.
Yeah, I agree. When you look at the rest of the unit, that was the four that made a lot of sense. Yep. Okay, so the Chiefs: Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Joe Tooney, maybe the best guard in football, Orlando Brown Jr. I did not keep a single receiver for the Chiefs.
I have Creed instead of Orlando, and that's just because Orlando wants a big new contract.
I forgot about Creed. He's one of the best centers in football already. Man. And Orlando, well, it's not looking good there.
Right.
The Jesse Bates situation.
Right. It's a similar situation. Because he's on the franchise tag, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And I believe he has not signed it. Let's go Creed.
All right. I'm reading the ESPN deal. Orlando Brown Jr. to play under the franchise tag after sides failed to reach a deal. Chiefs' final offer to Brown was 6 years, $139 million. That was $30 million guaranteed, 95 through the first 5 years. I mean, that's a hefty contract. What did he want?
I mean, the problem was somebody did a good job explaining the annuals were not in line with being a top tackle, and that's what he wants.
Sure.
Yeah. So
sure.
Tricky business. A lot of money to pass up.
All right. So you want to go? Do you want to go Creed or you want?
Yeah, I want to go Creed.
Okay.
I like Creed. I like Creed as a player better than Orlando Brown Jr.
Creed is certainly more dominant at his position, it seems like.
I get the tackle thing. I get the tackle
the value of tackle we had to consider here. But ultimately, because of the contract situation, I went with Creed Humphrey.
All right, cool. Defense, Chris Jones.
This was tricky for me.
This was very tricky.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, a no-brainer.
Yep. Yeah.
I did keep Trent McDuffie. They just took him in the first round.
Also kept him.
I kept Nick Bolton, who was really good last year.
I think Nick Bolton's good. I did not keep Nick Bolton, but I could be convinced.
And I kept Justin Reed. I did not keep George Karlaftis.
Yeah. So George Karlaftis is who I kept instead of.
So that's the battle. Nick Bolton versus George Karlaftis.
I think George Karlaftis. You're picking this dude in the first round.
Yeah, I know.
You think that he plays a more valuable position. You've got higher hopes for him. Nick Bolton. I love Nick Bolton. I think he worked out, but ceiling of George Karlaftis and what the Chiefs hope it could be versus Nick Bolton, who's more valuable, who's more replaceable, who's going to make more of an impact. I think
sucks to be a good team,
right? And I think Nick Bolton's a really good football player.
Yeah, you keep the first round edge over the ascending off ball linebacker.
Yeah,
it sucks. I really wanted to keep Nick Bolton.
Well, look, we can send him the real estate for London because he's probably gonna get poached. So yeah, I agree.
All right, cool. Let's do it. I mean, there's got to be some good players for this expansion team. So, welcome to the party, pal. The Raiders. You good for the Raiders?
You want me to say my?
No, I just want to make sure you're.
No, we're good.
We're the typist over here. Okay, you got to keep Derek Carr, obviously.
Yep.
Darren Waller and Devontae Adams,
of course.
Here's one that I will say. At the time, I was questioning this pick, and I'm really impressed with how he's developed. Colton Miller. Colton Miller's really come a long way.
Those are the easy four. Those are the easy four.
Very
for the
easy
Raiders.
four.
The only other one that you considered
Hunter Renfrow
is Hunter Renfrow, but you're not keeping Hunter Renfrow.
Over your left tackle.
All due respect. I'm not keeping Hunter Renfrow over.
No respect. He's a slot receiver. Sorry, bud.
What do you mean?
No respect.
What do you mean?
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just having fun. But you got to keep Colton Miller. Defense. This one's tricky. Obviously, Max Crosby ain't going anywhere.
I didn't think it was tricky.
Really? Okay. Let's see how we match up. Max Crosby and Chandler Jones.
Easy. Yeah.
Trayvon Merrick.
Of course.
I kept Denzel Perryman.
No way. No.
Dude, he was good last year. I'm telling you.
No.
Who did you keep?
I kept Nate Hobbs.
All right.
Nate Hobbs.
I mean, I'm not like dying on the reason it was hard for a 4 was I didn't love anyone. I just liked a couple guys.
Nate Hobbs graded really, really well.
Okay.
Let me see what the final
PFF All Rookie Team 2021.
Dude, yes, yeah, he was fantastic.
Listen, cheap, good at an important position. We'll keep him.
He was, dude. He almost had an 80 grade overall. He had a 78 grade in run defense, a 78 pass rush grade, which of course, like he's just blitzing off the edge.
I was gonna add some manufactured.
But then a 76.7 coverage grade. Like he was just a good football player for them all across the board.
All right, Nate Hobbs. I think it's the strategies in play too. A cost-effective corner that starts.
Yeah, so I got Nate Hobbs in there.
Okay, cool with that. Last AFC team is the Chargers, who were actually very easy in my eyes.
Were they? Okay.
Justin Herbert, Rashawn Slater.
Those are the two easiest picks you possibly could have gone with.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
So I have Mike Williams. And then I had a list of Keenan Allen,
Austin Eckler, and Zion Johnson if you were really that high on Zion Johnson. Ooh, Zion makes it a little tricky.
But like, because how old is Keenan? And Keenan is still a very good wide receiver.
He's very good. That's the problem. Keenan Allen is 30.
Keenan Allen is 30. Where is he on his contract? He's got 3 more years of the deal. Oh, the deal gets rough, dude. Whoa.
Oh, so this is an offload?
Whoa.
Okay,
so he's 30, 31, and 32 in the next 3 years, the first one being this next year. He is 19.2 on the cap, then 21.7 on the cap, then 25.8 on the cap.
Yeah, and there's a good amount of guarantees in these.
He cannot be, you cannot cut him this year. You can cut him next year, and you can cut him the year after that.
For me, I think I keep the first round offensive lineman.
You'd pick Zion?
Yeah. I think that...
I don't know if I'd pick Zion over Keenan.
I don't want to lose. It's pretty tough sell to lose Keenan Allen.
If anybody, I think I would have picked Austin Eckler over him just because
I would not keep the running back
contract. But you're right.
I wrote down Herbert, Slater, Allen, and Mike Williams, but now you have me thinking about Zion.
Okay, well, I would probably rather keep Keenan Allen than Zion.
Let's do it then. All right, so we keep the two wide receivers.
Oh, shoot.
It's very tricky.
Because if you're the Chargers, you're looking to win.
Yeah.
You're in win now mode.
Dude, we're overthinking this. You can't take away Keenan Allen.
No, you can't. And he's a legend, dude.
Okay, so defense.
They're not protecting Keenan Allen.
This one, there's a lot of good talent, but I thought the 4 that were obvious to me were Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and J.C. Jackson. There's no other way.
Yeah, you were right.
There's other good players. You can't lose these 4.
You're correct. I'm with you.
All right.
That's the AFC.
That is the AFC.
That's the AFC. All right. Well, you think we can run through the NFC a little bit quicker?
Yes.
What do we got? Like a half hour left? Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll rock. We'll go right through this. Giants.
Yep.
Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas aren't going anywhere.
2 very easy ones.
I did keep Daniel Jones.
So I didn't, but like okay. After Andrew Jones and Evan Neal, I did not know what the hell to do. Like
Same.
I have Saquon Barkley and Kenny Golladay.
I kept Saquon. I want to unload the Kenny G contract.
Is it that bad?
Oh,
I know
good.
It was big, but was it that bad?
It's not helping anything.
Holiday contract.
I don't know the long-term ramifications.
I don't think Daniel Jones is good, man.
Dude, I know, but if you take Daniel Jones off the Giants this year, what are they doing this year?
Who's the best?
Tyrod Taylor. Fine.
Dude, what do you mean?
No, stop, dude.
Okay. That's why I didn't put Daniel Jones down
Bro,
here.
look at the Kenny G
I'd
contract.
rather start Tyrod Taylor.
Look at the Kenny G
I'd rather
contract.
start Tyrod Taylor.
I cannot believe out of every human on planet Earth, I am fighting for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I can't believe
what has happened.
Because it's incorrect. I'd rather start Tyrod Taylor. All right. Kenny's contract. He's 29 this year.
It's gross. Look it up.
So
many guarantees.
21.1 on the cap this year, 21.4 next year, 21.4 the year after that. And then he gets a void year in there. He's 31 mil dead cap this year. Okay. 14.7 the year after that. And there's a little bit of an out. It's only 6.8, but still. Not great. I'm keeping Kenny.
You're keeping Kenny.
No, I'm not. God.
That contract stinks.
Dude, Daniel Jones isn't good. He's not good.
Is Tyrod Taylor right now? Like, I really fought the fight for Tyrod.
What does it matter? If you think...
Because they hired Brian Dable as like this, hey, maybe he'll figure it out with Daniel Jones, and if it falls apart, we'll draft a guy the next year. But if they're just playing Tyrod Taylor this year,
How old is Tyrod?
What are they doing?
How old is Tyrod? He's 32. He's going to be 33. All right, fine. Keep Daniel Jones. I don't care.
Saquon got kept.
Be bad. I don't care.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep.
Xavier McKinney.
Correct.
Dexter Lawrence. Three young, exciting players. And then
Indeed.
Azeez Ojulari.
Oh, I have Leonard Williams as my fourth.
That was some money that I was like, maybe you can get rid of this money, even though he's still okay.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like get rid of the money area yet.
Dude,
No?
Dave Gettleman had some specials on here.
Holy smokes. What is
I
this?
love when people that aren't aware of this see
contract?
it.
Okay, so he's 28. Like Leonard Williams is a good football player.
He's okay. He's okay.
No, dude, I think
He's okay.
I think he's a good football.
Tell the people how Leonard Williams is paid to be Aaron Donald. Explain.
Okay. He was on the cap for 9.
What's the cap number, Trev?
Hold on. Wait. He was on the cap for 9.4 last year, okay?
Yep.
Not bad. Great. You love to see it. This year, 27.3. Whoop-pow. The dead cap hit is 35.6 for this man this year. Next year, he goes to 26.3 on the cap, but there's only an $8.3 million dead cap if they move on from him. He'll be 29 at that point in time. This is just a heavily backloaded contract. You could definitely stand to get rid of him, but you went with Azeez. Azeez is good. It's
a young pass rusher.
Am I underselling Azeez?
No, he was really solid last year.
PFF grade. Let's look it up. 58.3. That's bad.
All right, we can't do that. We can't always do that. I know it's a PFF show. We can't always do that.
Hey. I caped for running backs earlier in the show, okay? I'm bringing a little bit of balance here.
You are. Dude, we're not protecting Leonard Williams $80 million for 2022. I will not.
Okay, Azeez had 8 sacks last year. I feel like a lot of them were cleanup, though.
I did watch them. They were fine for the most part. They were not overly impressive. They were not complete nonsense sacks. He was a rookie, to be fair, on a line that had not a lot around him. He played with the unprotected Leonard Williams.
Okay. I do think Azeez probably gets taken, whereas there's a chance Leonard doesn't. All right, we can keep Azeez. That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
Thibodeau, McKinney, Lawrence, Azeez. Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Dak Prescott.
Easy.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yep, easy.
Zach Martin.
Easy.
Still kept Tyron Smith.
I did too. You have to. He's
just too good when he's right.
Too good. Too good.
Too good when he's right. Defense, Micah Parsons. Duh. Trevon Diggs.
Also kept Diggs.
I did keep DeMarcus Lawrence.
I did as well.
Here's my, I kept Sam Williams.
Oh.
Just took him in the second round.
Oh.
I'd rather keep the young talent that I think can develop into a good pass rusher. Who did you keep over him?
I kept Jaron Kearse because Jaron Kearse played really well last year.
He did.
Yeah.
This was a little bit of like a you could choose your own adventure for number 4 for the Cowboys.
Choose your own adventure.
Like a pop-up book.
I think we should. I'm gonna push for Jaron Curse.
That's fine.
He's
like
good.
I said,
he's really good. Well, I don't know, really good. He's a good football player. We don't know exactly what Sam Williams could be yet. Certainly, they have high hopes for him. They have high potential for him. But I'd be going with Jaron Curse here, pretty easy.
No problem. Cool with me.
Cool.
Ready for Eagles?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got to keep Jalen Hurts.
Yep, you do. Yeah,
you do. We're at that point. You got to keep Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Put some respect on the man's name.
I'm curious as to who you kept Jalen Hurts over if there was a debate.
I'm not happy about it, but this is a bad one. This is you're going to lose a really good player.
You are.
Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I kept Lane Johnson.
Dude, no. You got to keep Jordan Mailata.
Okay, so I thought you were going to bring up the fact that they, in this, are losing freaking Dallas Goedert.
I mean, I know that they're losing Dallas Goedert, but
really good.
Jordan
so you're keeping Mailata.
Jordan Mailata is 25.
I get it.
Really good last year.
I get it.
What is Lane Johnson? Lane Johnson's like 33?
He's 32.
He's 32. I think
He's
Lane Johnson
so good.
I think Lane Johnson is incredible. He's been one of the best right tackles in the game for half a decade, maybe longer. But Jordan Mailata is your left tackle, and he's 25, dude. He played so well last year.
I get it.
To me, you cannot keep a 32-year-old offensive lineman.
Yeah, I get
over a 25-year-old offensive lineman when they're both really damn good.
Listen, I'm very, I work with you on this. That's a good argument.
Leaving Lane pained me, but I think
so now
you have to do it.
Here's the real story, besides the fact that we're keeping Mailata. Mm-hmm. Now, at some point, we're going to have to pick between Goddard or Lane. That's very interesting. We cannot take 2 offensive players from the Eagles. You're only allowed to take 1. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, I mean, we could pick 2 if we feel like that gives
changing
us
the rules because it's our show and we could do
No. I said that you got to pick at least 1 from every team, and then some teams you will pick 2 from.
Oh, but I thought we can only do 1 from each unit. So, like, if we do double dip, it has to be from the defense if we already took from the offense.
Oh.
See where I'm going?
I feel like that's
I'm
probably.
I'm fine with not getting too insane.
That would be some strategy.
Yeah.
For us. Okay.
We have all week to think about it. That's the beauty.
We do. But if people come up with their own teams, I want to be able to set the rules. So maybe we'll set the rules at the end of the podcast. The official rules.
Okay.
Okay, who's defense for
Fletcher Cox?
I didn't
keep Fletcher Cox? Okay.
No.
There's like there's a pick 'em here somewhere.
But this was a very interesting one for me.
Darius Slay?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Jordan Davis?
I also had Jordan Davis, yeah.
Hassan Reddick or James Bradbury?
I have James Bradbury. The other pass rusher I have is Derek Barnett over Hassan.
Wow. Oh, I wouldn't do that.
But like I wasn't jazzed about it.
Yeah,
but I'm also like Hassan Reddick. I feel like Hassan Reddick has been like, okay, well, if he's been at the right place in the right scheme in the right situation, he's absolutely gone the F off. Yeah. But if not, then he's been forgettable. So I'm like, do I keep Derek Barnett over that? I wasn't really sure. Brandon Graham's
so we're gonna keep the corners in Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
So it's between Reddick and Barnett and Fletcher Cox. I think I'm leaning Reddick.
What's his contract?
They just gave him 3 years, $45 million, if I remember that off the top of my head correct.
$15 million a year. How old is he?
Got the Carl Lawson deal.
He's 28.
Fletcher's on a 1 year. Barnett, I thought...
He's on a 2 year.
Yeah, it's a really short term.
Oh, Hassan Reddick's had 12 and a half.
I just don't think Barnett is good.
I don't realize that. I didn't realize that. I didn't know I forgot that he had back-to-back double-digit sacks.
Yeah, he started to figure it out.
Yeah, you got to get Reddick. I'll put Reddick in there.
All right, Commanders. I'm going to start to boogie here a little bit.
Okay.
Commanders. Scary Terry, no doubt.
Easy.
Jahan Dotson.
Okay.
You do have to keep Carson Wentz. No.
Do you?
I did keep Antonio Gibson.
I also kept Antonio Gibson.
You didn't keep Wentz?
No, I went with offense. I went with 2 offensive linemen.
Okay. Who'd you go with?
I just went with Sam Cosmi and Chase Roulier.
Man, I just don't want to go into the... we can nitpick the Wentz move as much as possible.
All right, so who else did you have? You had Jahan Dotson?
Jahan Dotson. They just took him in the top 20.
Yeah, they do love him. You're right.
Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, Antonio Gibson. So we like their skill guys a lot. Do you like the offensive lineman or you hate Wentz?
No, I'm way out on Carson Wentz.
So we wouldn't even take him in the expansion.
No.
Oh, so they don't even need to protect him here.
I'm not.
I'm not taking Wentz in the
I would
expansion.
be shocked if I'm taking Carson Wentz in the expansion. But maybe there's no other quarterbacks that are going to be available. So, all right, fine. Okay. We'll keep the quarterback. We'll keep Carson Wentz. I'll write his name down. Move on to the next team.
Well, we still got to confirm their defense here.
That's true.
Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen. Fourth one I was a little stuck on, to be honest. Who did you like? I looked at the corners and Kendall Fuller.
I picked Kendall Fuller.
That's who I wrote down.
I picked Kendall Fuller. Yeah. I love Cam Curl, but again, corner, safety, unless you really think that Cam Curl is like way better than Kendall Fuller, I went with Kendall Fuller.
Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Kendall Fuller. All right.
Good. Now move on to the next team.
Bears.
Okay.
Justin Fields.
Chicago.
Darnell Mooney. Cole Kmet.
Okay.
Kind of stuck.
I have Tevin Jenkins as the other one.
I'll do it because they got to keep some kind of stability on the offensive line, and he's a guy that can be really good.
I didn't love picking Cole Kmet. Like, I don't...
No, but there's just... What else is logical?
Montgomery is the only other one, but I...
Yeah. I just think you don't keep the running back.
Would they keep the running back, though?
No.
Would they keep the running back, though?
No.
But would they keep the running back, though?
No, they have Khalil Herbert.
Okay, all right, yeah, so there we go. Okay, good, fine.
Okay.
Cole Kmet.
Defense.
I just wanted to see how far. We've been going for like an hour and a half, and we're getting loopy at this point.
Yeah, we are gonna power through these last few divisions.
Yep.
All right. The Bears, Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, the two guys they just took.
Oh, I don't have either of them.
Wow. Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
And I still did keep Robert Quinn.
I have Roquan Smith.
What did you keep?
I have Roquan Smith, Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson, and Travis Gibson.
Jalen Johnson is a miss by me. You got to keep him.
You have to keep Jalen Johnson.
Don't feel that strong. Oh, man.
Dude, when Eddie Jackson's healthy, he's like one of the best young safeties there is.
Was he that good last year, though? I feel like he kind of...
I think he was. I don't think he was as good last year.
No. I know he was great.
Let me look at the grades. Let me look at the grades.
2018, he was first-team All-Pro. I don't think he's been the same player since. But I get the fact that doesn't mean you just don't protect him.
Yeah, 2018, he was holy hell.
4 years ago.
He had a 93.2 grade in 2018. I guess I'm misremembering him being bad. Has he been
not bad? Just he's not the same guy. I don't think he's bad. No, I'm not even fighting against keeping him. I'm just wondering how you don't keep. Like, don't you have to keep Brisker here?
What's Eddie Jackson's contract at here? Okay, he's got 3 years left in the deal. It's fine. I mean, he was barely a cap hit these last 2 years. Now he goes up to 15, 17, and 18. So it definitely goes up. If they think Brisker or Kyler Gordon can be more of the future for them, and look, you know what? For where the Bears are, I think it might make sense for Brisker to be the pick.
They're far away right now.
Yeah. Man,
we know we're keeping Roquan,
I wrote down Eddie Jackson's name.
Yeah, quick. You're right. I kind of let Jalen Johnson we got to keep. I missed on that.
Yeah, have to.
Eddie Jackson is difficult.
I'll write down Jaquan Brisker.
It's fluid. That one's tricky.
Maybe Bears fans can yell at us.
Yeah, I actually would like to know where their heads are at on that.
I have Travis Gibson because Robert Quinn.
I mean, it sounds like they've been trying to trade him as it is.
Right. I mean, I feel like Robert Quinn's not meant for Chicago.
Okay. I'm fine with that because they obviously want to get rid of his money anyway.
Dude, hold on. The guy had 18 and a half.
That's what I'm saying. You just lose a guy that had almost 20 sacks for nothing? For nothing?
He's 32.
He's going to London. Let me say that right now. Robert Quinn is going to London if we do not protect him.
He's 32. What's the contract? Again, like if he's got a monster contract, then they'll probably not protect him. I mean, his cap hit goes up to 17, 18, 17. But then he's 32, 33, 34. I think you're not protecting. Travis Gibson had 7 sacks last year. Started 9 games, played in all 16. Third year. I don't 18.5 sacks is so difficult to let this dude just sit on the market.
Just go for nothing.
Maybe you do have to keep him and trade him.
It could go back to being like the Jesse Bates argument.
Look, you know what? I think it comes back to what you were talking about. Like if the second he became available, if the other team was like no brainer picking him up, you should probably keep him.
Okay.
Let's go Robert Quinn.
All right. Packers. Aaron Rodgers, Elton Jenkins.
Yes.
I still kept Christian Watson, even though he's a second-round rookie.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did not.
Then Aaron Jones.
I have Aaron Jones on here. Is Bakhtiari like way more like not healthy at all?
He's never healthy.
Yeah, but like is he? The dude didn't retire, right?
No.
He's 30. When he plays, he's one of the best offensive tackles in the game.
Sure, he played a game last year.
I don't think you can keep Christian Watson over David Bakhtiari.
All right.
I would be pretty firm on that. I don't think you could do that, especially for you having Aaron Rodgers here for another 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you're gonna piss him off.
I don't think that you can. You can't let David Bakhtiari walk.
All right.
I'm gonna be pretty firm on that.
This is where it's hard to podcast this because they know where his health is at and we don't.
Sure, right. Of course, right.
That's the honest part.
But just like on the outside of it,
no, you're right.
30-year-old offensive tackle who, yes, he was hurt last year, but when he's healthy,
franchise cornerstone.
Correct. So I think you have to keep him.
I'm fine with that.
So unless they knew something, unless they know that like dude's not going to play again, I have to operate under the assumption that he will get healthy again, he will play again, he will be good again. So that's my thought.
Rashawn Gary.
Yep, easy.
Jair Alexander.
Super easy. Preston
Smith.
Okay, you kept Preston. Okay.
This is where it's hard. You got like Kenny Clark out there, but I kept Eric Stokes.
So I didn't keep Preston Smith, but I kept Kenny Clark and Eric Stokes. So we have the same 3 that we were thinking about.
Yeah.
Tricky. In my head,
Tricky.
I think we should keep Eric Stokes because he's a young corner and that's important.
Yes.
But when it
Gary
comes
and Alexander are Jair are no doubters.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I can go either way on Preston Smith or Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark's really good. I don't want to like dismiss that.
Kenny Clark's 26, dude.
Yeah, I think
Preston Smith.
Probably like 28.
Yeah, he's older, isn't he? He's 29. He'll turn 30 this year.
Kenny Clark's coming off a Pro Bowl season.
I thought it was Kenny Clark pretty easily.
All right, we'll go Kenny Clark.
And Preston Smith, look, if somebody picks him up, they're picking up a hefty contract that comes off your books.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a deterrent. I like it's like got a poison pill element to it. All right,
it's
Lions.
Dire, but all right.
Not easy again. Yeah, obviously you're keeping Jameson Williams. I kept Hawkinson.
I didn't.
I kept Penei Sewell.
Okay.
And I kept Amon-Ra.
Whoa, okay.
I said this was not easy.
I said I kept Jameson Williams, I kept Penei Sewell, I kept Taylor Decker, and I kept Frank Ragnow.
Ragnow was the one that like drove me insane to not keep. I think he's one of the best interior offensive linemen in football. So you're letting Amon-Ra go, right? You said?
I am, and I think Amon-Ra is an incredible football player. I think he's really good. I think he's going to be great for them, and them establishing the slot presence I think is really important moving forward. It gave them the flexibility to be aggressive, to go get Jameson Williams, like all of that. I don't mean as a slight to Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he is a slot receiver. Like you can get these guys. You can find these guys. Wide receiver, it's just every single year there's so many good receivers that are coming
I would do this. We're keeping Jameson.
Taylor Decker seems like that's the one that you didn't mention.
That's the one I'm saying that I actually pretty strongly don't know if I want to keep him.
What's Decker?
He was really hurt. He was banged up last year.
He's 29.
Yep. Big contract.
But his contract is really flexible after this.
Yeah.
17.8, 17.6.
He's got guaranteed money going all the way into 2025. That's a void year,
I guess
2025.
it's not really flexible, but
it's not.
For like left tackle flexible. I would pick Hawkinson pretty easily as the guy that we would sub in for Taylor Decker if you don't.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right.
So we kept Ragnow and we kept Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Jameson and Sewell.
So
you and I met in the middle on that one.
Oh, this podcast is all about compromise.
You love to hear that. All right, the next one.
No idea what to do on defense.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay, that was the easy one. Starting off.
I kept Tracy Walker, who they just extended.
I didn't keep Tracy Walker.
I kept Aleem McNeil, who I think is really good for the middle of the defense.
I knew that we were just going to be like.
And I kept Jeff Okudah.
Okay.
Because I still believe in Jeff Okudah.
I also kept Okudah because I think you have to, because he has just the biggest payout. And again, this might be a situation where if the Lions are like, nah, we're out on Jeff Okudah, then like we don't know that yet. So I don't know if that's the case. If they think that he can still play, I think he has to be protected. You put a top 3 pick into him, so I think you have to protect him. I also kept Amani Oruwariye because I think he's been turned into a really solid corner.
That was a tough one for me.
And I think that certainly if Jeff Okudah doesn't work out, you don't want to be burned if you're going to lose Oruwariye if he gets taken by the expansion team. What was the other one I had? Who was the fourth one?
Did you keep on Zariki?
No, I just kept Romeo Okwara because I feel like he's been the better pass rusher. But look, Aleem McNeil I liked coming out. Onwuzurike super versatile. If you want to go like younger with it, you can.
I'm pretty open to letting Tracy Walker off the list.
My 4 were Aiden Hutchinson, Amani Oruwariye.
I would keep him.
Okwara and Jeff Okudah.
Yeah, I would go McNeil over Okwara, but I would let Walker go for Amani.
That's fine. All right,
okay.
We'll go Aleem McNeil.
Okay, Vikings.
He's been good.
Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook. I kept Christian Darrisaw.
So I kept Brian O'Neill because he's more established.
My thing is keep a tackle.
Yeah.
But not Adam Thielen. Keep the tackle.
No, I think you have to keep the tackle.
Darrisaw had a tough rookie year, it sounds like. So I would pivot to O'Neill. You're right. Yeah, established is the perfect word.
I like Christian
upside.
Darrisaw. I really do. I think the upside's awesome, but O'Neill's been doing it in the NFL longer. I think you have to keep that and bet on that.
I'm with you. Defense, I thought was very easy. Danielle Hunter, Zadarius Smith, Lewis Seen, Harrison Smith.
Oh, so I kept Kendricks instead of Harrison Smith because Harrison Smith's like 33.
He is older.
He's old, man.
Wow, he is 33. Good
he's
Lord.
old.
He's still really good for that age.
I know he's really good, but like the drop-off's got to be coming, man.
Yeah, you're right. 33. Most safeties do not play at 33.
Because what's Eric Kendricks?
Probably in his upper 20s at this point.
And Eric Kendricks
Kendricks is 30.
He just turned 30, but like I still think Eric Kendricks is one of the best
linebackers play a little longer. Okay, good argument.
Yeah. So who were the 4? What did we go with?
Danielle Hunter, Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius, yeah.
Lewis Seen, Eric Kendricks. Falcons, Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Hold on, scrolling up. Okay,
Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Chris Lindstrom. Those 3 you have to keep.
Okay. Yep.
I really didn't care after that, so I kept Cordero Patterson.
You could convince me between Cordero Patterson and Jake Matthews.
Yeah. Once again, no, neither one like fully moved the needle.
What's the contract for Jake? Because I think Jake's good. Jake's a good offensive lineman.
It's stability. Running back's replaceable.
What is his contract? This contract was like year specific. He goes $15.1 million on the cap this year, $33.9 next year, and then 18. The guaranteed money goes away after this year. He's 31.
What do you think?
Probably the offensive lineman.
Yeah, we kind of tend to go that way because it's just a spot you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to get flimsy. Defense. AJ Terrell, duh.
Easy.
Grady Jarrett.
I still have him, yeah.
Arnold Ibikady.
I also kept Arnold Ibikady, yeah.
And then I made the last one a one-on-one battle between Troy Anderson and D'Angelo Malone.
Okay. I have Deion Jones, but that's just because he's an actual...
Yeah, he's kind of fallen apart. He was once very good.
Right.
But they would love to get rid of that money.
Yeah. So who are the two?
D'Angelo Malone or Troy Anderson. Both day 2 picks from this year.
Probably
now, you kept Ibikady, so do you keep Anderson instead of keeping 2 pass rushers, or do you like the fact they do need a lot of pass rush help? You know D'Angelo Malone's my guy.
Let's just go D'Angelo Malone.
Okay. Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell, Arnold Ibikady.
What is Deion Jones' contract?
D'Angelo Malone. It's not good.
What is this here? Oh, boy. Okay. He is a... he is a $20 million cap hit this year.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to London.
Off-ball linebacker.
They're stuck with him.
And then he is 18.4 next year. Sweet Lord. Okay. All right. Okay.
Panthers.
Who's next?
Ike Ekwonu.
Yep.
DJ Moore.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey.
Thank you. Okay. I was worried that you were going to be like, no, running back.
I kept Baker Mayfield.
No, I kept Taylor Moton.
Moton is a good player, and I really wanted to keep him. I do not want to see this team run by Sam Darnold again. If you want to keep Moton, I'll do it, and we'll make this party a little fun when it gets to the expansion draft.
That was the debate, right? I was like, okay, is it Moton or is it Baker Mayfield? In all honesty, it should be Baker Mayfield.
They cannot do this with Sam Darnold again. I'm thinking like them. That's frustrating.
God, we're going to have Carson Wentz on this goddamn expansion team.
Carson Wentz and Teddy Bridgewater. Step on over to London.
Okay,
all right, Brian
Baker
Burns.
Mayfield. Yeah, easy.
Jeremy Chin.
Uh-huh.
J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
Stuck between Derek Brown and Dante Jackson.
So I actually picked Shaq Thompson because I think Shaq Thompson is like the last of the old guard. He's like the middle leader for them.
Yeah, so that's like an internal one. They don't want to lose him. He's only 28. That's good.
Right. I'm not.
Cool.
I think we got to go with Shaq Thompson.
I'm completely fine.
Okay,
Wasn't attached to anyone in that fourth spot.
Cool.
Saints. Chris Olave.
Ooh, I didn't have Olave, but I did have Michael Thomas. So
I want to get rid of that money.
So you're now that you say that out loud.
Remember we did this whole thing?
You are correct. You want to get rid of the money. So you're right. It's Chris Olave.
I kept Jameis. I
did not.
Okay. I kept Ryan Ramczyk.
Easy, of course.
Yeah, of course. And then I kept Kamara.
You have to. The other one that I have on here is Eric McCoy because I think he's good.
He is, but I don't think you could lose Jameis. We've seen that happen already.
You got Taysom Hill.
Yeah, great.
Who are they? What was Jameis's deal? What did they sign Jameis to?
I thought it was like a 2-year. Andy Dalton's his backup, by the way.
2-year, $28 million with $21 million in guarantees. So they're probably keeping Jameis. Let me look at the depth chart. You said Andy Dalton?
He's their backup.
Oh, so they're not afraid to lose. So they have Taysom Hill officially listed at tight end. They don't have him at quarterback anymore.
Do they have to protect Jameis? So we're protecting Olave, Ramczyk, and Kamara no matter what. It's the fourth spot.
All right. We'll hold on. London Jameis. Think about it.
It's fun for the expansion team. It's not realistic for the Saints.
Come on, Connor. Come on. Fine. Well, they'll keep Jameis. I do want this to be pretty realistic, so we'll go Jameis.
Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore. Duh.
Yeah.
I kept Marcus Davenport, which I know is kind of flimsy because this is where now you run into a problem.
I didn't.
And I can be talked into not keeping him because now you only get to keep one of Honey Badger, Demario Davis, or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and all three of them are really good.
They also have Marcus May, don't they?
Yeah, but I wouldn't keep Marcus May over Badger or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Marcus May is really good when he's healthy. He just got hurt.
I know.
So we're keeping Cam Jordan and we're keeping Marshawn Lattimore.
I think you have to keep Demario Davis.
You have to keep Demario Davis. He's the heart and soul, the middle of that team.
Correct.
So who do you? I keep Badger after that.
What did they sign Badger to?
Probably a 3-year.
Did they give him that much?
I would think. I think that's what Marcus got too.
Who got more money? Marcus May contract. 3 years, $28 million, $15 million guaranteed.
Honey Badger got 3-year, 27, $18 million guaranteed.
Wait, how much is guaranteed?
18.
Oh, he got more guaranteed. All right, we'll go with Tyrann Mathieu.
All right. Okay, so that's the Saints. Bucks. Trevor, you have full authority on this one. This will shock you. I kept Tom Brady. I kept Mike Evans. I kept Chris Godwin, and I kept Tristan Wirfs.
Easy, yes.
It feels good when I get that one right.
Yeah, it was easy.
Vita Vea.
Yep.
Shaq Barrett.
Yep.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Who's your
Carlton Davis?
Easy Carlton Davis.
Wow, I feel like I went kind of 8 for 8. You're torn on the Winfield one.
I'm torn on the Winfield one because to me it's either Winfield or Levante David, and
I'm thinking long term though. You're thinking heart and soul right now.
I know you are.
I mean, Levante's great, and it's a pretty crappy thing to do to not protect him here.
Right. Levante's in the final year of his deal. He's 32 years old. I think you probably have to keep Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yeah. You're doing the right thing here.
That was the one that this hurt me. I was not looking forward to this. This hurt me. But I think you do have to keep. I have Levante David's name written because I couldn't not write it.
Blame me.
But you're right.
Don't blame yourself.
I will.
Cardinals.
I always do. I always blame you.
Kyler Murray.
Cardinals. Hold on. I'm scrolling down. Okay. Kyler, easy. Yeah.
DJ Humphries.
Easy. Yep.
Hollywood Brown and D-Hop.
Those are my 4.
You love it. All right. Defense. JJ Watt.
I didn't keep JJ Watt.
You don't need to.
Okay.
But this defense, there's not a lot of guys I'm like dying to keep.
Okay.
I kept Budda Baker. I kept Isaiah Simmons. And then I didn't really care after that.
I kept Budda Baker, Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons, Byron Murphy.
I'm fine with that because you're going young.
I just went young. And like Simmons is not developed yet. Zaven Collins is not developed yet.
Oh, no, there's a lot of projecting here. Like, there's not established.
Like, JJ Watt, how much is he giving you?
No, you're thinking long-term,
especially with no Chandler Jones. Like, how much is he giving you? I don't know. So I went with the young guys.
No problem there.
Cool.
Seahawks. DK.
Okay.
Charles Cross.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
And Tyler Lockett with a question mark because I know that contract's really funky.
No, bad, right? Dude.
I know the contract's bad. We did this on this show.
We did. This is my Mike Thomas moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get rid of it.
This is my Mike Thomas moment because Tyler Lockett is 30 years old. He is uncuttable for the next 2 seasons. He is $10 million on the cap and then 16.7 on the cap. He has so much dead cap to him, 31.2, 21.1. You cannot get rid of him over the next 2 years without trading him. Okay.
Keep Noah Fant.
It then jumps to $23.9 million on the cap and $23.9 million on the cap while he is 32 and 33 years old. You really do not have an out until the final year in which it is still $7 million against on the dead cap for Tyler Lockett. I kept Damian Lewis because he's an offensive lineman.
Okay. Damian Lewis. Just keep somebody that's young and
right.
Okay. Defense.
No, Fant couldn't. Yeah, it's not a bad pick, but I went with Damian Lewis.
I think you're keeping both safeties, Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs.
I did not keep Jamal Adams, but that's
after what they traded for him, they got to keep Jamal Adams.
I have Jordan Brooks, Quandre Davis,
Brooks for sure,
Sidney Jones, Poona Ford. But I mean, like obviously, like Jamal Adams has the highest talent out of any of those dudes. But do they want to move on from him?
I would keep Jamal over Sidney Jones.
Okay, all right, we'll go Jamal Adams.
Okay, like that you had Poona on the list. It's nice.
Yeah, I got to do it. Big shout out.
Rams was kind of easy. Stafford, Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Allen Robinson.
Yep.
Then I wrote Cam Akers with a question mark, but I think you have to keep Cam, right?
I went with Rob Havenstein because he had a really good year last year at offensive tackle. And that means more than a running back coming off an Achilles injury.
All right, let's go with the offensive line.
Yeah, I'll go with Havenstein. He's not like hella old, is he?
No.
No, he's 30. Now we're good. Yeah.
Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Duh.
Heard of him?
Bobby Wagner and Leonard Floyd.
I have Bobby Wagner and Jordan Fuller.
Okay.
Jordan Fuller's good.
I know, but Leonard Floyd is so important to that pass rush.
Dude, they've been rotating pass rushers for like years.
Bro, he's a double-digit sack guy for them.
Yeah, so was Dante Fowler Jr.
I know, but they like Leonard Floyd a lot.
Didn't think that'd get thrown into your face like that, did you? Didn't think I'd have that kind of rebuttal, did you?
You're fighting like hell for Jordan Fuller right now.
Jordan Fuller's good.
So is Leonard Floyd.
Okay, hold on. All right. Let's check the PFF grade.
Oh, brother. I'm moving on to the Niners while you check the grades.
Wait. All right. Leonard Floyd, okay. 74.4 pass rush grade last year. Okay. What was he in previous years? I'll give him some longevity. We'll be fair here. All right. That was the best pass rush grade of his career last year. Damn, he had 12 sacks. Nice. He had 11 the year before.
He's
nice.
Important piece for them.
Nice.
They paid him.
Jordan Fuller, PFF. Safety. 24 years old. 69.4 coverage grade. All right. I could yield this.
It's over.
I could yield this. All right, Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. All right, Niners.
Fine. I tried.
You did. I give you credit. You really did try that one. You got to keep Trey Lance. Duh.
Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, Niners. Yeah.
This is the last team of the show.
It is the last team of the show. Okay, good.
Trey Lance, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams.
Easy. Yep.
Nick Bosa.
Yep, of course.
Fred Warner.
Yep.
Eric Armstead.
Easy.
I struggled with number 4. And not insulting their defense. I just didn't, I'm like, oh my God, this guy over this guy.
The next players that I would like to pick talent-wise are a linebacker, but I don't... keeping 2 linebackers a little...
Dre Greenlaw.
Great. Dre Greenlaw is great.
Even Samson Ebukam was good for them last year. Jimmy, I think you got to keep Jimmy Ward here.
Jimmy Ward is who I have.
Or Charvarius Ward. Jimmy paid.
How much did they give Charvarius Ward?
A really nice contract. He's quietly a good player.
No, I know he's a good player.
3 year, $41 million.
Oh, that's... Okay.
Dude, they think he's like a number 1 corner for them. I think it's got to be Charvarius.
Okay. All right. Oh, Jason Verrett's on this team. My guy. Yeah. You never keep him, though, I know. Aziz Al-Shir is the other name, that a linebacker that I really thought about that I like, but I don't think you're keeping him over. You're right, Charvarius Ward. Okay, let me write this down. Charvarius Ward. There it is. Whoo! What a marathon of a
That was a marathon. Worth it, though.
This is like an hour 40?
Yeah, it's a marathon.
You guys better not complain about content ever again. Ever.
No, me and Trevor got to eat dinner.
Yeah,
I still have the wee hours of the night.
Oh, microwave chili. I don't know. Why was that the first thing that came into my head?
That's a weird thing.
Why is that the first thing?
You don't actually eat that. There's no way you eat microwave chili.
I don't. I never have. There's no reason for me.
Microwave chili.
No reason for me to say that.
I mean, your stomach handles sunflower seeds raw. I guess it can handle it in microwave chili.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot. It's a really cool idea.
Thanks everybody for
listening.
I
love it.
That was good. The London Dynasty. That is the team that we are building next week in part 2 of this expansion series. Let us know what you think of it.
Led by Matt Corral.
Stop! We don't. God. Dude, I swear to God,
it's going to be better than that.
If we have to pick Carson Wentz, I'm just starting over. We're not picking Carson Wentz. I'm just starting this whole series.
I would take like Malik Willis.
We'll figure it out. We're not
going to give it away.
We're going to figure it out next week. We would love for you guys to figure it out. I think that should be the stipulation, right? You pick one player from every team, and then you can go back and you can pick a second player, no more than 2 from one team. Do you want to say that we have to stay on one side of the ball? Certainly, the more freedom we give ourselves, the better team we get to build.
Give me the week to do the math, because it's gonna be very math heavy.
Okay.
It might not work where we can add that stipulation. The more I thought about it.
Okay. All right.
Because you might run into like, oh, I did this, and I don't want to make it like not fun. So it might be that you can pick from a team twice, a unit twice, We'll see.
Why don't we just say that? Why don't we just open it up?
Yeah, this team's not going to be that good anyway, so give us advantage every advantage we have.
Yes. So, all right.
I want Lane Johnson and Dallas Goedert.
So anybody who is out there who might want to take it into their hands to continue the second part of the exercise, if you guys want to do that over the next week, the rules that we're going to build off of are you got to take one player from every single team, at least one. You have to do that. And then you get to pick a second player from a choice number of teams until we get to, do we want to do 53? 53 is what we're going to go for, 53-man roster. So
or we can leave 7 spots open for the draft.
Oh, yeah, we do need to do that. You're right. So we'll do 46. That was a quick math there. So we'll pick 46 players. Well, actually, are we going to go through the whole depth chart, or do you just want to do starters?
Let's just do starters.
So then at that point, we could pick anybody because we're not going to go through.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through the whole team. So let's just do the starting 22. Let's just run the starting 22, and then we can figure out the depth later. If we go through this exercise again, if you guys love it so much,
well,
then
it'll
maybe
be
we can get even deeper with it.
It's the intro to it.
So there you go. If you guys want to build it, you're building a starting 22 out of who is remaining. You cannot pick more than 2 players from one team, right? Or do we want to say that you can't even pick more than one, since there's 32 teams and we're only going 11 on offense, 11 on defense?
1, because it's unfair to the teams losing the players.
Okay, then we're just going 1. 1 from every
That's how
single
the NFL
team.
would do it. So I'm trying to emulate.
Starting 22, offense and defense. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you think of the podcast. This was a lot of fun for us to do, a lot of fun for us to research. This is great, but I'm excited to continue this next Monday. Before we get to that, we got another summer scouting episode, interior defensive lineman, coming up on Thursday. I'm Trevor. That's Connor. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.